One of the things that I've always enjoyed doing in life, I'm just sort of a naturally contemplative person, is to examine the inner workings behind outward appearances. And the first thing you have to do is you have to look for them, okay? Because they don't always present themselves. Um, and so when I see an event or a person talking or an event that takes place or happens or whatever, um the first thing that I like to think about is I acknowledge the event, and but I don't hang out there that long. I don't hang out on the event and why and oh gosh and react and get hysterical. I look beneath the event or behind the event. I look for the inner workings of that event because every event has an inner workings. Every person has an inner workings, and when you can get some insight into the inner workings, then you gain the magical understanding. And to me, understanding is the key to life. It's the key to comfort. It's the key to living a peaceful existence. Understanding. If I've got one religious belief or one spiritual practice that I follow, it's the pursuit of understanding. And you might not like what you found out through understanding or whatever, but I think that it can give you some insight and it can give you some peace. And I'll give you an example. Um, okay, I'm sitting up here up in these hills, and I've been a wilderness hermit for 27 years. And relaxed life. I've got plenty of time. The time is not an issue for me. I'm not hysterical. I'm not anxious. I'm not depressed. It's a good life, okay? But I'm well aware that if everybody were to live like this, it wouldn't work. We couldn't do it. Who would be there, to, stock the grocery shelves when Lori goes into town to get supplies? Who'd be there to, refine the oil refineries and the gas stations and all that, to provide gas to run the generator that we oftentimes run, especially if we're doing YouTube silliness, and solar won't keep up with it. And so we live in a very, very diverse society and a very, very diverse humanity. Society is the individual social structures of humanity, which is the entire human race. And unfortunately, what's actually been happening to humanity is that due to globalization, mass globalization, rapid globalization, individual social structures are diminishing. They're getting caught up, they're getting enveloped into a global society. And the downside to that is that we're losing our individual characteristics. We're losing individual thought processes that were specific for individual social structures or societies. People in the Mideast think differently than people, say, in Canada or whatever. Believe it or not, they do. And we're losing those. And then the internet has come along and has exposed everybody to very, very similar stimuli. And so we're all kind of focusing on that, and it becomes a universal focus. Individual stuff, individual thought seems to be diminishing. Um, and so initially, globalization had its benefits economically. Um, Trade routes were established eons ago that benefited people and such, but this big trade route of globalization, I think, has some downfalls, and the recent pandemic and supply chain issue is a a really good example of what happens during globalization. And look at the pandemic and the economic consequences it had. And I don't think that's the end of it. I don't think just because that one seems to have subsided that it's going to end. I think I've always thought that the microbe is the superior species on the planet. Phenomenal beast, the viruses and the bacteria, the microbes. I mean, look at where they can travel, and look how widespread they can go, and they use us as transport. And the other thing that I see happening that is something that we haven't really prepared for. Is the next war, and I don't think it's going to be necessarily with another country or other countries. It's going to be the weather. It's going to be catastrophic uh, atmospheric phenomena and geophysical phenomena. And it's funny, throughout history, we have spent trillions of dollars in defending ourselves from the tribe next door or the country, next door or the country across the ocean or whatever, and all of our defense mechanisms and nuclear, weapons and that kind of thing. But take a look at the recent, catastrophic atmospheric events that have happened. It's not only flooding in California, it's simultaneously flooding in China. It's global. And we've made really no preparations for it. We just assume that, okay, we had a flood and it's gonna go away. I'm not so sure. Look at 2 years in a row of California's atmospheric rivers. Bam. So it's just some things that I like to sit up here and think about. And, it's it'll be interesting to see. Anyway, take care, my friends.